look at. Howdy there, PG37 here. I'm going to do a quick overview of the Ruger GP100. I've already done a review on this. I done the Halo version. Well, I parted with that gun, and I've since bought this one. And I just missed that one really bad after I sold it. So, I sold it and got something else. And I ended up getting another one because I just really missed it. And it was just, I just decided it was one of my favorite revolvers. And I just verified that when I picked this one up. It's just a great gun. It's not as refined as, say, a Smith & Wesson. Like, it's got some rough edges on it. It's got a kind of a sharp hammer on it. It's got a teeny tiny little mark in the yoke there, where from the cylinder coming open. It's not quite as tight as a Smith. The cylinder wobbles a little bit. Does it wobble bad? No. I've had Smiths that wobble just as bad as this thing does. And this thing doesn't wobble bad. I'm just saying that it's no worse than Smiths can be. And the sights, they're just black on black, which is fine. But this revolver, it's just everything you need and nothing that you don't. There ain't no frills about it, no nothing. It's just a revolver that's going to last you the rest of your life and probably your kids' lives. It's just an awesome gun. As far as accuracy goes, I put this thing on paper with 2 different loads at 25 yards. I loaded up some 125 grain Spear Gold Dots with a full charge of Winchester 296, which is probably equatable, maybe not quite as hot as Buffalo Bore, but it's real similar to their load. But I shot just over an inch at 25 yards, about probably 1.25 inches. If I had the paper with me, I'd show you. And then also I loaded up some 158 grain Hornady XTPs, and I shot them 25 yards, and they was about the same size. They was well under 2 inches. And I've loaded up some cast bullets for this thing and shot under 2 inches at 25 yards. It just seems to shoot everything pretty darn well. As long as you do your part, they're gonna do its part. 38 specials, it's just like shooting a 22 darn near. It's just an excellent gun. I'm super happy with it. And I've never had any troubles out of the Rugers. I've had some troubles out of some Smiths, I will say. I had the gun I sold, my Halo 1.4, was a Smith 6-inch 686. Man, that thing came out of time. It was a 7-shot. It came out of time. Well, I done a review on it, but it came out of time. I sent it back to Smith & Wesson. I got it back. It was better, but if you slow cock the hammer, if you do that, I could still get one cylinder to not lock up. So I was kind of just not very satisfied with that. So I ended up selling it and getting another Ruger, and I'm glad I did. One thing I will say about the Rugers is if you shoot a Smith a lot, you will hate the Ruger trigger. You may pick it up and pull it and go, man, that's a pretty smooth trigger. And it is. It's a smooth double action. It's awesome. But if you shoot a Smith a lot, the Smith triggers are good as well. But the Smith trigger, it locks up, and the Smith trigger breaks at this point. The Ruger does not. It locks up twice, and then you still got a bit of trigger to go. So that's just a forewarning if you're a big Smith guy, like I am. I shoot a lot of Smiths, and I got this thing, and I thought, man, the double action is awesome. And because my first Ruger, that was the only revolver I had really, so I didn't really think much of it. But now that I got a bunch of Smiths, I picked this thing up, and I would feel it lock up the second time, and I would think it was going to break, and I would jerk every stinking shot in double action. But anyway, in the single action, it's not quite as good as the Smith, I will say. It's got a little bit of, it's still a good single action. But if you're really taking your time it's got just a little itty bitty bit of creep in it. So, but like I said, it wouldn't take much to get this going and get a really awesome trigger on it. But the double action, as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty darn good how it is. Single action could use just a touch of work. It's light, but like I said, it just has a little itty bitty bit of creep in it. And it's kind of super easy to take apart too. I mean, you just take the grips off and push a button, and it pretty much pops apart. It is not hard at all. It's a little tight, so I mean, it takes a little bit of work to get it apart, but it's just an awesome gun. And this is, like I said, it says 6-inch barrel, adjustable sights, Hogue grip. Just an awesome gun. If you're thinking about getting one, just buy it, because you won't regret it. I mean, they don't hold their value quite as good as a Smith. They don't look quite as good as a Smith, in my opinion. They're not quite as refined as a Smith, but it's way more rugged than any Smith. I mean, I don't know, just something about it. It's hard to explain. I mean, I don't think it's any more durable than like a Smith & Wesson L-frame, but I don't know, just something about it. I can just shoot hot magnums through this thing all day and just have a big old grin on my face. And that 6-inch 686 I had, I could shoot hot magnums through it, but if I shot 50 rounds, I was like, that's all I really wanted to shoot. This thing, I can shoot it all day, and it just, I mean, another thing is, since it's not as refined per se, you don't really care if you ding it around as much. So I mean, you'll carry it more. I mean, I carry this thing when I'm mowing the grass, when I'm out in the woods. I plan on taking a deer hunting this year. There's just all sorts of stuff you can do with it. So that being said, awesome gun. If you're thinking about it, get it. I would not hesitate. I'm not saying get it over a Smith, but definitely give this thing a good once over if you're thinking about it. And just for those who are wondering, this is a Kimber I got back here. Even die-hard revolver guys, I think, can appreciate God's choice of 1911. It is unloaded, by the way, but nice gun. Both of these are nice guns. But anyway, thank you for watching.